Thanks for coming back to the Guardian Rebel review. Like I said before in one of my previous videos, I'd be returning to this topic. That topic being the status of Superman in theaters. And I want to talk more about the numbers. So apparently this weekend, Superman just crossed over the $500 million mark. And I want to say that this is not some milestone. This is not some great achievement. In fact, these numbers are abysmal for James Gunn's Superman because it's far below expectations and it's far below where they need to be considered successful or achieve profitability. So right now, like I said, $500 million. It cost $500 million just to make this movie. We saw those tax records that I mentioned before. Those tax records clearly state that it cost $363 million to make this movie. Those are the production costs. Then you have to add on the marketing cost. That's another $200 million. And that has to be true because their marketing campaign for Superman was very aggressive. I mean, it was very aggressive. It didn't start off that way, but the last couple weeks before the film came out, man, I couldn't go through my day without seeing a Superman ad somewhere, either on my phone, the TV screen, or on a billboard when I was out and about driving around. And like I was saying, the truth is that in order for Superman to be where it needs to be, it had to be making numbers similar to Jurassic Park, which is over $718 million now. And that movie still has a chance to get to a billion. It might be a little bit more difficult because it might get less screens. It's bringing in a little less money, but it has long legs and it might stay in theaters a little bit longer. So I think in a minimum, Jurassic Park World Rebirth will still probably at least make $900 million, if not a billion. But Superman's in trouble. I mean, James Gunn's DCU is in doubt. And I don't care how many people online have been talking trash, bragging, hyping up this failure. Because at the rate it's going right now, it had a 57% drop this weekend. 57%. So that means that this movie is not going to get anywhere near the numbers that Warner Brothers got for BVS. It's not going to get anywhere near Man of Steel. All those movies that they thought were failures, that people were hating on, that people gave negative reviews to, and they basically forced they threw Snyder under the bus because they felt like they were below expectation. They threw under the bus and ran him out of Warner Brothers and replaced them with this garbage. And they're failing. They're failing miserably. Warner Brothers stock is still only like $13 a share. They still owe $38 billion. The shareholders recently voted to make drastic cuts to David Zaslav's pay. So Warner Brothers is not in a good place right now. $500 million is not to brag about. As I was stating that at this rate, this movie probably it'll be lucky if it gets to $600 million. You had a 57% drop off this weekend. You're going to see another massive, huge drop off next weekend, and I think sometime in late August it's scheduled to go to digital. So if once it goes to digital, then the theatrical run is over. There's no more money coming in. So they need to wake up. These gumbros need to wake up. They need to understand that James Gunn's Superman is a failure, and they never should have replaced Cavill. They never should have ended the Snyderverse in the first place. These numbers are not going to get any better. Yeah, it came in a little bit ahead of Fantastic Four, but just barely by a few $1,000,000. And Fantastic Four doesn't have anywhere near the budget that James Gunn's Superman has. They're like I said, they're probably going to lose at least $200 million on this movie. So uh, it's just not going to bode well for James Gunn's DCU. Oh, and one other thing that I want to mention before I get out of here, to clarify that when a film like Superman gets into theaters, it has to make twice its budget to make a profit or be successful, because the studio has to share 50% of whatever the film makes in theaters with theater chains. So, in the case of Superman, let's say it ends up at $640 million. I think it's going to be somewhere. It's going to land somewhere short of what Man of Steel made, $640 million. So if it lands there, they got to give $320 million to the theater chains. They got to get their cut, 50%, $320 million. That leaves Warner Brothers with only $320 million, if that's where the film lands hypothetically. And if it lands there, they only get 320 million and they spent $500 million. Do the math. They're losing about $200 million, or $182 million, something like that. Huge loss for a studio that's already broke and that's already circling the drain in terms of finances. And also, let's not forget that when you look at Man of Steel's earnings, if you adjust it for inflation in today's dollars, it's really a $900 million movie. And a lot of people forget those things, and they really just take what Snyder brought to the genre. They take it for granted. They don't appreciate it, because it was, not only was it entertaining, it was very successful from a financial standpoint as well. So those are the things I wanted to talk about for this video. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll do another video soon. You guys take care in the meantime.